A shocking New York Yankees trade could be incoming as the team has reported interest in Kyle Tucker, but it could take one hell of a price for the New York Yankees to acquire him, and we're going to see what Brian Cashman and the New York Yankees front office does in hopes to replace Juan Soto. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. We are so close to 3,000 subscribers. Let's get there, guys. Final push. But let's jump into the video, guys, because, look, one of the best hitters in the MLB, Houston Astros superstar Kyle Tucker, appears to be on the trade market for a multitude of reasons, and it feels like the Yankees really want to land Tucker and are seemingly doing everything they can to acquire the left-handed slugger who finished 5th in MVP voting in 2023. And this was all broken down to us by Joel Sherman of the New York Post. And taking a look into what Sherman mentioned, he said that more and more it's appearing that if the Astros are open to trading Kyle Tucker and the Yankees are among teams most seriously pursuing the star outfielder, the Yankees, though, might not be the most determined pursuer of Kyle Tucker as the winter meetings near. As the winter meetings near an end, the Chicago Cubs are also seen as a strong player for the lefty swinger, and the Giants are also involved in talks with the Houston Astros. Now, this is not very surprising to see multiple teams interested in acquiring Kyle Tucker. He is one of the best hitters in baseball, a red light outfielder who you're not really going to run on. The guy is just a phenomenal player. I mean, outside of Yordan Alvarez, he's probably the best player on the Astros, and there's a very good argument that he's better than Alvarez and that he is the best player on the Houston Astros. Kyle Tucker, if the New York Yankees could pull off getting him, I understand he's not as good as Juan Soto. I get that, and this is not what I'm saying. But, I mean, that is as good of a way to replace Juan Soto as humanly possible. You get a much better outfielder than Soto is, and you get a guy who is not the hitter that Soto is, but is pretty darn close to the hitter that Juan Soto is. On top of that, you still will be able to pay other guys, such as a potential Christian Walker deal, and that will be affected by the Kyle Tucker trade stuff, and we'll get into that in another separate video that'll probably come out the same day this video comes out, Wednesday, December 11th. You'll see more of this face, unfortunately. Sorry for that. But we got some stuff to talk about today. Look, but Sherman mentioned that, and it's not surprising. There's going to be teams that go after him. The New York Giants. No. It's been 100 years. The San Francisco Giants, they've been star hunting for a while. They signed Willie Adams to that massive contract, and that's something, but they want to keep going. Ever since losing Aaron Judge, the Giants have been on an absolute warpath to try to go out there and acquire stars. It was even before they tried to acquire Judge, but once they had Judge and lost him at the 25th hour, it just feels like they are trying to get everyone just to prove a point, especially after also losing Blake Snell to the Dodgers, because Blake Snell's terrified of competition. Or maybe he just got paid the most money from the Dodgers, and that's pretty fair. But look, where the New York Yankees stand now, acquiring Kyle Tucker, I think, would help a lot of us fans who have a terrible taste in our mouths of the New York Yankees losing Juan Soto. Now, if the Yankees can get Tucker, can also sign Christian Walker, along with already signing Max Fried, it's better than re-signing Soto, I'll tell you that. I mean, I get that I sound angry about losing Juan Soto, and don't get me wrong, I am, and I wish the Yankees re-signed him. I'm not trying to act like I'm not, but it does. Elite outfielder, I'll say. Well, he is on both defense and offense. Top, 5 first baseman in the MLB? Arguably top 3. The pitcher with the best ERA over the last 5 seasons. For less money than what we would have given Juan Soto. Kind of a win. Now, there's a lot going into this Kyle Tucker talk, and Sherman mentioned that Tucker, who's a free agent pretty soon, I mean, literally next season, and right after Juan Soto's 15-year, $765 million contract with the Mets, is now seen as likely dragging Kyle Tucker up to a $300 million or perhaps even $400 million payday next offseason. It wouldn't be shocking to see him hit $400 at all. And Houston owner Jim Crane has never shown the stomach for the length and dollars that are necessary to keep that kind of player, which is why Tucker has become such a hot topic at the winter meetings. Jim Crane does not like paying out a ton of money. So this is exactly when the New York Yankees should pounce. I know they ran this last offseason in the winter meetings. They got the slugger who was a year away from free agency, and oh, well, what if he leaves? But he's not going to. Psych, he's absolutely leaving, and Juan Soto left. The Yankees, if they acquired Kyle Tucker, obviously they'd probably not be able to sign him over the season. They definitely have to wait till free agency, and it becomes that risk again. But it's hard to imagine the Yankees letting that happen to them twice in a row. It just feels like something that won't happen. And if that doesn't happen, or if the Kyle Tucker deal happens, it's hard to imagine they'll mess up losing him in free agency. It just feels like they won't go down that path. Now, Tucker has been an absolutely awesome player over his entire career, really. Last season, he missed a lot of time with an injury, but still had 4.7 wins over replacement and 227 at-bats, where he got 80 hits and 23 home runs. His OPS was 993 with an OPS plus of 181. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. OPS and OPS plus were higher than Juan Soto's. I'm just going to say it. They were higher than Juan Soto's. Kyle Tucker's a better outfielder. He's not a better player. I'm not going there. But maybe I'm going there a little bit. Look, all I'm going to say is this is exactly how you replace Juan Soto. Look, part of me wants to hate Juan Soto, and part of me is like, well, he got the most lucrative deal he could possibly get. He hinted at doing that the entire time. It is what it is. What are you going to do? But also, I'm still kind of mad at Juan Soto because the Yankees gave him basically everything they could, and Juan Soto still just clearly wanted to go to the Mets anyway, which just kind of sucks. But I've tried to hate Juan Soto. I just can't. I don't understand why. I think it's because I understand the Mets deal, just the suite that they gave him that the Yankees didn't give him, and the whole more money and per year and overall, it makes sense. Like, it does. It makes sense. It's hard to... I don't love the guy, and I'm really not going to like him once I see him in the Mets uniform, but it's hard to hate on the guy for that. But Kyle Tucker, better OPS plus last season. Very, very nice to see. Higher than Juan Soto's. I mean, you got to go and give everything you can for this guy and make sure you re-sign him. Now, here's also some more details that Joel Sherman gave, because, as he mentioned, what makes the Yankees fascinating, in an agreement with Max Fried, it gives them 7 potential starters for next season. The thought is that it would motivate them to trade Marcus Stroman to get out of his $18 million contract owed next year as possible, or get out as much of it as they'll have to pay some of it off no matter where they trade him, after Stroman did not have a great season with the Yankees. Or trading Nestor Cortez, who's entering his free agency year, and he very well will probably walk, as he won't really have a spot starting with the New York Yankees. But because of the top of the Yankee farm system is in a down cycle, you got guys like Jason Dominguez, who's not really in the farm system at all, so your top guy is Spencer Jones. You also have George Lombard, who's a young shortstop, and with Anthony Volpe being Anthony Volpe, there's a world where Lombard becomes available, but it also feels like he probably won't be, as they could just very likely move him to second base. You have Oswald Peraza, who's an all right name also, but the farm system is not great right now. So as mentioned by Sherman, they would have to get creative to acquire someone as talented as Kyle Tucker. And it said that Houston is very interested in the American League Rookie of the Year, Luis Gil. And it's possible that Gil and Ben Rice could front a package that gets at least the Yankees to the table, which is worrisome if that can't get it done. But it's also understandable knowing how good Tucker is. But that 1 year left, it should help in the Yankees' favor. It's just a matter of what the Cubs and what the Giants are going to offer. Now, also mentioned by Sherman, as a reflection of his all-around excellence, Kyle Tucker just played 78 games last year, yet finished 27th in the majors in WAR, and was 5th behind Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Gunnar Henderson, and Bobby Witt Jr., the ultimate top 4 in the AL MVP voting, when he fouled a ball off his right shin and went down for those 3 months. Tucker won a Gold Glove in 2022 and finished 5th for AL MVP in 2023 when he had 29 home runs, stole 30 bases, and led the American League in 112 RBIs with a career-best 181 OPS plus in 339 plate appearances last season. Look, here's the deal about Kyle Tucker, guys. Here's the thing. He fits perfectly to start batting second for the Yankees and having Judge bat at third. That Aaron Judge protection will do wonders for Kyle Tucker and very likely push his OPS over 1. The guy will be absolutely phenomenal. He'll replace Juan Soto in so many ways. He had 23 home runs while missing 3 months of the season. So likely with the Judge protection, he could get to the 41 home runs that Juan Soto hit. Kyle Tucker is someone the Yankees have to go guns a-blazing for. I understand trading away Luis Gil would suck. And if there's a way around it, the Yankees should find the way around it. But it's known that the Astros need starting pitchers, so the Yankees are going to have to give something away big to acquire something big. It's just how sports work. You can't be like, oh, well, I don't really want Marcus Stroman. What if we offer Marcus Stroman and Oswald Peraza? No, it's not how sports work. You got to trade important pieces to get important pieces back. The Yankees trade away Michael King to get Juan Soto, and it sucked that the Yankees had to trade away Michael King. But you have to trade away great players who have a lot of potential for star players like a Kyle Tucker, like a Juan Soto. It's just the way the world is of sports. GMs aren't stupid for the most part. Now, Tucker, the 5th overall pick by the Astros in 2015, has not played anywhere but Houston, so almost certainly he would not grant permission to work out a long-term contract as part of a trade because he would want to see how he likes the new area, which means the New York Yankees are going to have to do what they did with Juan Soto. They're going to have to wine and dine him all season, and they're going to have to do it better because, Juan Soto obviously left. Now, if the Yankees do want to trade away Luis Gil, as I said, it's going to suck, but you might have to do it. Luis Gil last season, 3.5 ERA. I mean, he looked like the Cy Young starting the year before he kind of burnt himself out. Coming off the torn UCL, obviously. Missing a year and a half of action. First year ever pitching in the MLB for a full season. He just got tired, it felt like, more than anything, but still at a 15-7 win-loss record with a 3.5 ERA. And he's only going to get better from here, one has to imagine. Clarke Schmidt is also going to be someone who will be mentioned in these trade talks. As last year, though he missed some time due to an injury, missed a lot of time due to an injury, only playing 16 games, starting all 16 of them. He did have a 2.85 ERA. The guy looked phenomenal. He is someone who the Astros will probably also be interested in. If there's a world where you could somehow prevent giving Luis Gil and you could give Clarke Schmidt, you could give a boatload of prospects. I mean, I'd be willing to deal Spencer Jones if you can get Kyle Tucker and have a pretty good reason to believe that he's going to re-sign with you. It would make sense to go out there and get Kyle Tucker and to make that move. It just makes a lot of sense to me to go out there and do that. Now, Marcus Stroman is someone who's going to get moved for the Yankees salary reasons, but he's not going to get you much. 10-9 win-loss record on a great team like the Yankees isn't exactly exciting. 4.31 ERA is not very good. He didn't have a great year with the New York Yankees, but it's fine. The Yankees are going to have to find a way to try to deal for Kyle Tucker, because if you get him, you have solved your Juan Soto problem in literally less than a week, and that'll be absolutely absurd. It'll put the Yankees right back into being the favorites in the AL, and frankly, Kyle Tucker knows how to win World Series, and maybe there's a little bit of cheating there, but if it's on the Yankees side, I don't care. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'll stop caring about Tucker cheating and all that stuff in a second, and I'll pretend like I never hated the Astros at all if they give the Yankees Kyle Tucker for a good trade. But guys, let me know what you think down below. This was a really long video. Sorry for that, but a lot to go over. Guys, have a great day, and go Yankees.